Alright, so now we're going to go from standard form to intercept form with quadratics. So when you see something like this, you're going to try to factor it. So how would I get from here to two sets of parentheses? So put your two sets of parentheses. First thing, actually, don't put parentheses. First thing you need to check is a GCF. This one does not have a GCF because nothing is in common between 1, 5, and 6 other than 1. And pulling out a 1 will not help you. So if I put my two parentheses, how would I get an x squared here? That would be x and x. And then since this is a 1, I can just ask myself what multiplies to be 6 and adds to be 5. And that would be 2 and 3. And they both have to be positive. That works because A is 1. So now you have to check it. Does x times x equal x squared? Yes. Does positive 2 times a positive 3 equal 6? Yes, it does when I multiply. Notice I checked my outer and my first one and the last one at first, because if those don't work, I just need to stop and try something else. Now try your outer and inner. This x times 3 is 3x. And 2 times x is a 2x. If I put those together, I get 5x, which is x squared plus 5x plus 6. So that is your answer. This one out here would be in factored form. Okay, and now for the second one. GCF, there's not a GCF there. So let's try to factor it. To get 3x squared, I would do 3x and an x. Now to get a positive 2, there's only 1 and 2 that multiply to be a positive 2. So I know I have to have a 1 and a 2. And to be positive, they either both have to be positive or they both have to be negative. So after a couple of these, you can kind of see what signs you need to use. There is a trick. If this is positive, that means the signs are the same, and it's whatever this is. So since this is negative, they both have to be negative. I was trying the positive. If I put positives there and I check it, 3x times x is 3x squared. That gives me the first one. 1 times 2 does give me 2, but then I have 6x and 1x, which is 7x, not negative 5. So that won't work. Okay, what about this one? If I do 3x times x, that does give me 3x squared. Negative 1 times negative 2 does give me 2. Then here I would have negative 6x and then minus 1x, which is negative 7x. And that does not equal what I need it to. So that's not right. So those two are not correct. So I have to throw those out. So what does that mean? Well, think about the other combination that you can have here. If I do 3x and x, and I need a 2, I could change the order of which I put these in. So I could put the 2 here and the 1 here. Now what that does is it changes what I multiply here by that 3. So again, if this is positive and this one's minus, then they both have to be minus. Or you can kind of logically work that out in your head. 3x times x is 3x squared, and the negative 2 times negative 1 is 2. So I'm good with the first and the last ones. And now 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x. And negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And that would become negative 5x, which is what I need. So y equals 3x minus 2, and x minus 1 would be standard form. Or excuse me, factored form. Okay, that's your answer to that one. Alright, what about this one? No GCF, so x squared would be x and x. And again, this is like number 1. See, a is 1 here, and a was something different on the second one. meaning that we had to do something different in the actual process there. But here, since it's a 1, it has to multiply to be 15 and add to be 8. That did not work on number 2 because I don't have anything that multiplies to be 2 and adds to be negative 5. But the 3 is what helped me out there, because 3 times whatever was here allowed me to get to negative 5. So here, what multiplies to be 15? Let's try 5 and 3. We could also try 1 and 15. Positive 15, both are positive or both are negative. If it's a positive number here, it's whatever sign is there. Now check it. X times x is x squared. 5 times 3 is 15. And then 3x and 5x would give you 8x. So this is the standard form, or the factored form of that standard form. All right, let's try one more. So no GCF, so try 2x and x. And now I need a 6, so I can try 2 and 3 or 6 and 1. Look at it for a minute and see if you can figure it out. You might try 2 or 3. That's not going to work. It gives me the first one, it gives me the last one. But this would be negative 6x and negative 2x, which is negative 8, so that doesn't work. But you can kind of see if you just stop and look at it, the 6, I have to have the same sign, so they both have to be negative. The 6 times 2 would give me 12, and then that 1 would get me up to 13. So that would be negative 12x minus x to give me negative 13. So that would be the standard form. All right, let's try one more. There are no GCFs. So how would I get x squared as an x and an x? And how would I get negative 10 would be a 5 and a 2 or a 1 and a 10. If this sign is negative, then that means my signs are positive and negative. One's a plus and one's a minus. So what would give me negative 3 would be a negative 5 and a positive 2. If you check that, that would give you the standard form. So this is the factored form of that standard form. Again, different forms, it would graph the same way.